Oh, I think Jedrick has frozen. Sorry, we've had some technical difficulties for the last 20 minutes. Okay, his eyeballs are moving, and then they stopped. Welcome to Soul Flow Conversations. I am your co-host, the phenomenal Mrs. Fields, and Jedrick is working on your host. He's working on getting it together here.
I'm
I see two of you. I just wanted you to know there's two of you. And I don't think you have a twin.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my goodness.
That's,
Lord have mercy. I swear. I, listen,
uh,
I'm gonna turn my camera and my mic off for a minute.
okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I just know sometimes if it's too much on the screen, it'll start to slow it up some. Are we good now? You think? Slow it up some.
okay. All right. I'm here. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see you and I can hear you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. So, matter of fact, they welcome to another episode of Soul Flow Conversations, where us old folks can't handle technology. So, so please forgive me, guys. So, welcome to Soul Flow Conversations. I am your host, Dedrick the Cookie Man, and this is my amazing, phenomenal co-host, Miss Jessica Fields. Yeah, she's doing the cradle face. Yeah, she's doing the cradle face. That's what I call it. I call it the cradle face.
Good
But
evening, everybody.
so tonight we're going to be talking about a few things. And tonight I'm talking about this subject. We've talked about this subject before, but it came back up, and the way everything kind of went down kind of disturbed me. It bothered me in such a way that I had to address it again. And and there's another video out here. But first, it's about, do people really understand what submission means? Um, do people really understand what it actually means in the context of a relationship? And I, because my answer to that is no. It became apparent to me yesterday when I happened upon a TikTok live that was put on by a particular individual, and they were just talking. So I decided to just listen in to see what they were talking about. And what two of the ladies were using who were hosting the live, they were using the dictionary to frame what submission meant. Now, it had already dawned on me that they had already taken the control aspect and used it to push their particular narratives and stuff like that. Because, and let me explain what I mean. They seem to think that when people were saying, we're talking about submission, they were talking about control. They were talking about being authoritative and different things like that. That's what they were talking about. And then they went on to reread the definition by the dictionaries that they found. And well, the definition of submission is this. And they went on to say the definition of what submission means, according to the dictionary. Now, the problem with that is when you apply it to a marriage, or you apply it to a relationship, it doesn't really gel well. It doesn't age well at all. And the thing is that when you apply it in such a way to have authoritative power over such and such, if you know, controlling this and that and the third, and to yield this, that, and the third, I said, okay, I got to say something, because they just getting it all wrong. And I've heard a few men who tried their best to explain it to them from a man's standpoint, and none of what they said was about control. None of what they said was about you do what I say because I'm man, hear me roar kind of thing. It wasn't at all what they were saying. And in typical fashion, they proceeded to interrupt him, wouldn't let him speak, insult him. And I was like, wow. I said, so what I'm going to purposely do is I'm going to come on here in the calmest demeanor I possibly can and explain to me. Now, here's the preface of what they said. Only weak men want submissive women, or something like that, to that effect. And do you agree? Or it says only weak men, I'm trying to find it, but it says weak men want submissive women, and then it said prove me wrong, right? I said, oh, this is gonna be interesting, because I totally disagree, and they only wanted you to come on stage if you disagree with their stance. And so give me just a sec. I have to turn the volume down on the laptop. But so people tried to come on there and say their piece, but for some reason they wouldn't let them. And that seriously irked me, because I'm saying, what is the point of you having a live, going live, or having a podcast, or any of that kind of stuff, if you refuse to listen to anybody else's point of view? And as soon as the guys said anything that they felt were contrary to what they were saying, oh, they didn't have, oh my God. And when I came on there, do you know that someone literally paid to get me kicked off the line? Somebody paid a little, I don't know what the fee was, but somebody paid a coin for them to kick me off. Now, keep in mind, I didn't even tell them what my whole point was. I didn't even get a chance to get to that. I just explained to them that submission had nothing to do with being subservient to another person. It had nothing to do with you losing yourself for the sake of another person. It had nothing to do with control, a man controlling a woman, or whatever the case is. And I was about to say, before they so rudely cut me off, I was like, well, and as soon as I was getting into the meat of it, she cut me off. Well, somebody had paid to get you off the live. I didn't even say anything. So
Damn.
Because you disagree with me, you're gonna take me off the live? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So what's the point of you even allowing anybody to come on stage for, if that's what you're gonna that's what you're gonna do? That's the position. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go ahead and slide in there, Jessica, on this particular subject.
Well, no, like, wow, that's diabolical. Like, somebody actually paid to get you kicked off. Like, I've never heard of that, but okay. I never liked the word submission when it comes to relationships, but not for the reason that you think. It's because it's a misconstrued word. Like you said, if we were to go by the dictionary definition, which that's what most of them will run to, which says to yield to a higher power, a higher authority or power. So then obviously women are going to be like, he don't own me. He can't tell me what to do. And da-da-da-da-da. And I remember like when Kevin Samuels hit his height, and he was talking about submission and stuff like that. I remember asking my husband once, like, well, do you consider me a submissive wife? And he said, I don't like the word submissive. He says, I like the word cooperative.
Okay.
You're cooperative. You don't challenge me in decisions. We communicate. You trust me to be the leader of our home. Um, he said, so I'm not really, keen on the word submission. But again, I think it's because so many people take it out of context when it comes to relationships.
Right.
Now, if we want to get religious, to submit to a higher authority or power, you would be thinking of God, right?
Right.
And then if you're in a religious state, a lot of people who are extremely religious, it is that it's God, husband, wife, children. I just think that when they take that dictionary definition, they don't understand that that's not relative to relationships in the sense of the definition, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Like I said, me and my husband never had a conversation about, oh, I need a submissive woman. No, I saw his values. I saw his character. I trusted him to lead. I knew that no matter where we went or where we was going, that I would be provided for and protected, and I trusted my husband. And so that's the type of submission that I say that I give, because I trust my husband.
Absolutely.
And, and I tell women a lot of times, when we have these conversations and I get called everything under the sun but a child of God, I get called a pick me, a man worshiper, and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, look, I said, most men, they want peace. They want peace. They don't want you to be combative with them every step of the way. They want you to trust them to lead you. Because if not, what the hell are they there for?
Right.
So that's pretty much in a nutshell my take on the whole submission thing. Most people consider me a submissive wife, and I am. But Dedrick, you've known me going on 3 years now. I'm cooperative, but I'm a pain in the butt. I'm no doormat, And a lot of people look at submissive. Oh, you must be a doormat.
Right.
You just jump when he says jump, and everything he says do, you do it. And I'm like, nah, that's not really how that works.
No, it's not how that works at all.
Matter of fact, if you ask Billy, and sorry he can't be here today because he's not here, but even Billy would tell you, shoot, she run the damn household. She run the house. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not taking away anything from Billy. If there's something that I want or something like that, and he says, nope, we can't do that this time, we'll revisit that later, I say, okay, baby, no problem. Or if there's a decision that needs to be made and he says, no, I said we're not doing it, and I'm like, okay, no problem. But it doesn't mean that I don't get input. It doesn't mean that we don't communicate about it. It just means that he feels that he has a more logical answer. And guess what? 9.5 times out of 10, he does.
And folks, if you were paying attention, she yielded to what he was saying because he may have had an inside track on something, or knew or was more knowledgeable about something, or there was a reason why he felt strongly about that particular thing. Now, having known him for as long as she's known him, she knows she can trust him. See, for me, and that's the same thing about Rhonda and I. Like we've never had a conversation where submission was brought up when in the context of us or me saying or making my demands and all this other stuff. It's never been that way, because the way I see submission is that if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in her life, guess what? I don't ever have to ask her to do that, because it's going to happen on its own. And it's going to happen in such a way where she's automatically doing it. And it's not going to be something that she has to say, oh my God, am I submitting to him? It's not going to be like that. It does not work that way. It's not going to be, well, I'm man, you woman, you do what I say. That's not how that works. It's not, well, I'm the man and I control this. It's not how that works. Folks, when y'all talking about submission, y'all be getting in y'all feelings because y'all triggered by the word. I need y'all to get understanding about what submission means in the context of spiritual submission. Men and women both submit, but we submit differently. And when I say submit, we yield to each other differently. There are things like if y'all was listening to what Jessica just said, she said that Billy said she run the house. Jessica has said that before. You know why? He's out here being the breadwinner. He's doing what he's supposed to do to protect and provide for his family. She's at home making sure the kids are right, making sure the house is right, making sure the pets are right, making sure things are going smoothly at home. While he's doing other things they counterbalance each other, ladies and gentlemen. There's no big me, little you. That's not how that works. Submission to me means respect for. That's what that means to me. Now, you're not going to find that definition in the dictionary, but that's what I understand submission to be, because it starts from the inside out. It don't start by me telling you I'm controlling you or you do this and you do that. No, it's no big me, little you. It's us walking in a partnership. It's it's being counter. What the word would I just say? But anyway, you are interdependent. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to counterbalance each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the way a successful and healthy relationship is supposed to work. It's not me discounting anything you say. Jessica is talking and she's telling me her idea about something or her opinion about something, and I dismiss it. I swat it away because I feel like my word is the only word that needs to be paid attention to. That's not how that's supposed to work. And a lot of you think that you guys are living in this femininity world in your bubble in your head, where you think that a man is always trying to get over on you, or you think that, first of all, you're self-sabotaging yourself. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, no man wants a woman he has to go to combat with in his relationship. A man will protect his peace before he allows himself to be miserable for the rest of his life. Now, sometimes you got men who have a lot invested and it ain't worth it. It ain't even worth leaving because it's just not for him anyway. You know what I'm saying? So some guys do stay in certain situations like that. But in general, if a man is about to date a woman and he sees that he can't get a word in edgewise, and he sees that what he feels, his opinions, his ideas are always going to be challenged in such a way that they're dismissive, that they're disrespectful, all that stuff, that man is going to protect his peace. He sees that there's no submission in you. There's no yielding to you because you want to have the last word all the time. You want to run your mouth all the time. There is sometimes that you just probably need to STFU. And that's just real.
Now, I will say that unfortunately in this, let me make sure I put it right. In this newer generation of men that I'm very thankful that I do not have to date.
Right.
You do have some men that can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag, right? Mm-hmm. And they just expect for a woman to submit to them because they're a man.
Right. And that's wrong.
So we do have those types of men.
You do.
And those are the men I tell women to stay the hell away from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, like I said earlier, this wasn't even a conversation. I saw how he moved. I saw how his character was, his values, his aura. It demanded a form of submission, if we want to use the word in that context.
Right.
It just demanded it. But again, like you said, and to back up what you said earlier, we both submit to one another. We just do it in different ways.
Uh-huh.
He submits his time. He goes to work every day. He pays all the bills. He hangs with the kids. He does the oil changes. He cuts the lawn. He still rubs my feet, and sometimes he'd be like, sit down, let me make you a damn plate. Right? So who am I to not do the same things for him? Don't worry about the laundry. Don't worry. Well, maybe you can help me with the laundry because everybody know I hate laundry. But like everything else I got. Don't worry about it. I got it. You relax. And it's, and I always tell this story, that my husband literally has the house phone programmed in his cell phone under the name Peace. Because it's peace. I try to bring him peace because guess what he brings me? He brings me peace. He's my provider. He's my protector. He's the father of my children, my husband, my friend. He's everything. So who am I to not be his peace and give him the same thing? And to actually trust him. Like, why would I marry you if I don't trust you to make decisions as a leader?
Right.
Like, that's stupid. Why would I be with you if I didn't trust you? Why would you're the and I'll say this and then I'll land my plane and let you get back at it. But I was thinking about the topic when you sent it to me. I don't even look at it in a religious view. I look at it as in a biological view because I'm not religious. Men are men for a reason. Women are women for a reason. We are the nurturer and the caregivers. It's been proven time and time for centuries, if not thousands of years. And men are the providers, the protectors. And that's just how it goes for me. We can go all the way back to the days of the Vikings. Let's use the Vikings, for example, right? Who went out and fought the wars? The men did. They'd leave the older gentlemen that couldn't really fight too much to kind of keep the women safe as much as possible. But the women stayed with the children in the village. The men went out and they fought. The men went out and they hunted. Now, not in all places. I do understand that women did that too. So don't get me wrong. But you get what I'm saying. Overall, majority, biologically, that's the order of how things go. And it doesn't mean that he has power over you or authority over you. It's just that he was made to be that protector and to be that provider for you. And if you appreciate that protector and that provider, guess what they do? They continue to protect and provide. I mean, I thought it was simple math, but maybe I don't do girl math.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like, and the craziest part of this is that y'all have to understand that we're not. Well, I'm gonna speak on my behalf. I'm not ever going to take away from the trifling men that are out there. However, you need to understand that you should have discernment and practice getting to where you can hone your discernment when you are allowing certain men in your life. I don't care if you are tired of starting over. Guess what? Start over until you get it right. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do.
There were like little. I want to give. Can I give a couple of tidbits on this one?
Sure, please.
There are little things that I noticed when I was dating. Obviously prior to my husband. Before y'all go out here saying I'm cheating or something. Prior to my husband, and I was still in the dating scene. I would notice little things, and there was a lot of things that Billy did differently. Billy always pulled out my chair. He always opened my car door. I never drove when we were going somewhere together.
Okay.
He would always stand in a certain angle or sit in a certain location when we were out together, so that he can keep his view, his peripheral open, to keep his view out. And I noticed those little things. I mean, to most, those are little things, but to me, they were big things because it showed his already protective nature. If a man, I don't know, and this is me, I'm old school though, so some of y'all might not like it, but I'm gonna say it. If a man doesn't open the car door for me, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing it. If we're together and you don't come to my side and open my door, I'm not doing it. And then there are other things that you have to pay attention to, like how he treats his mother, how he treats his parents, maybe siblings, nieces and nephews. So a lot of these things, you will be able to tell whether that man is worthy of your trust to say, I feel comfortable enough to trust him to lead me, to be that authority, to be over me. That's kind of like, let's say, for example, you and your man on a road trip, right? Some women won't even go to sleep in the car because they don't trust their man driving. Child, me, I be I be drooling. I wake up, I don't know where we at. Like, where we at? How much longer we got? I'm just using that as an example to where you trust that person so much that you know that person's not going to put you in any danger. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So I mean, and here's the other side of what you're saying. Not the other side, but to add on to what you were saying, it's about respect for the other person. It's about trusting the other person to make the right decisions for yourself and your family overall. A lot of you women out there are summing it up in such a way that is so combative, that is so, you're on the defense about something that you really shouldn't be on the defense about. And it's only because you don't quite understand the dynamics of what submission is inside the context of a relationship. Like, for instance, like the woman told me that I was romanticizing the word submission to justify wanting or needing to control women. She literally said that. And she heard herself say that. And she made sense of it like it made sense in her head. And she said it. And then the other one started talking. And I'm just like, did y'all not just ask me a question or ask me to explain my point? So that told me that, number one, you don't really care about comprehension. You care about responding. So since you care about responding so much, I'm just going to try to be as elementary as I possibly can be, because y'all simpletons cannot understand perspective. I'm sitting here telling you as a man how actual men, I'm not talking about adult males, I'm not talking about simps, I'm not talking about those individuals who just out here just running their mouths. I'm talking about actual men. We're trying to explain to you and tell you what submission looks like for us. And you're telling us no, because first of all, you don't get to tell us no about what men think. You don't get to deflect and dismiss what we're saying. When you're literally asking us to prove you wrong. We're trying to prove you wrong, but you won't accept any other explanation other than what you think. Well, guess what? You're going to be perpetually single. Because I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no man going to sit there and allow his life to be one piece of drama after another. And he comes home or he comes to your house, it's always some kind of conflict. It's always something you're complaining about. It's always something you push back on. All of a sudden, you've already undone what he did to make a difference in your life. You just undid that because you wanted it your way. Ma'am, if that's going to be who you are, just stay single. Don't talk about men at all. Just stay single and talk about the reality show y'all like. Talk about something else. Because if you're going to sit there and complain about men, you have to equate, you have to take into consideration you haven't once looked yourself in the mirror and took any self-inventory and been accountable. Yes, I said the A word. Accountable. Because a lot of the times you guys are the reasons for the demise of your relationship. And again, you didn't hear me say that men aren't either. But we're talking about you right now. Because anytime we talk about you, well, men do it too. This ain't no men do it too type of situation. You literally said weak men want submissive women. Do you not understand what you're saying? Because an actual man, they want a combative woman. An actual man want a woman that's going to challenge everything he has to say. An actual man, that's basically what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, a man is weak because he has requirement.
Mm-hmm.
The man is weak because he's not going to take drama in his life.
Mm-hmm.
A man is weak because you need to yield to something I say. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I have to yield to something you say. Sometimes I've never once seen a relationship where one party didn't yield to the other at different times during the course of that relationship. I've never seen it. So if you think just because submission is the word that they use, it's still yielding, it's still taking a step back and falling back and letting you be the expert at whatever that is you're the expert at, or you're more knowledgeable at, or you're stronger in. It doesn't mean that, oh, well, she's gonna run all over me, or it doesn't mean that I'm gonna run all over you. It simply means I got respect for your intelligence, your knowledge, how you feel about things. I have respect for that. And as Jessica said before, it's about trust too, because consistency, doing the right thing, making the right decisions, that's going to bring about that trust. You don't get trust right out the door. The same way when you got these foolish dudes talking about, I want a submissive woman. I have yet to see a woman come to the door submissive. Right out the gate, she just submissive. What is she submitting to? Just because he got testicles and balls? I mean, what is she submitting to? A man has to earn submission. You don't just get that bestowed upon you just because you showed up and you happen to be a man.
And a
That's not
lot of times,
that's not how that works.
as women, well, look, I'm gonna say women, not females.
Mhm.
We're gonna go to what you said. We're
Mhm.
not talking about males. I'm talking about women. A woman will know, like, oh crap, look at this. What just walked in the room? Ooh, okay, yeah, now he not want to be played with.
Mhm.
Okay, let me put on my best behavior
Mhm.
because I like him. And then you go through the dating process or whatever. But in the meantime, he's also proving to her that he is worthy of such. She already knew it. But in the meantime, every date, every conversation, she is starting to see that, you know what, he has the values and the characteristics and the morals that demand such cooperation. I'm gonna say cooperation from now because I know submissive just triggers the ladies. Cooperation. He is due that. So we know. So a lot of times, like I said, when women talk about that to me, and again, like he said earlier, like Dedrick said earlier, no, we're not discounting the fact that there are not men out here they think that they should just be bowed down to because they
Mhm.
got a dang-a-lang. Yeah, no, leave them alone, sis. I tell you that flat out. But if that man has values and characters and morals, and you can see that he's a provider, a protector, that he has a leadership within him, and that you can trust him, then you got to give him something too. Because guess what? At the end of the day, he's going to give you the same. It's just going to be different. Do you don't think that there's been some times that I've been like, look, that's what I said, and I don't want to hear nothing else about it. And Billy be like, okay. Now, usually it's with the kids because I'm mom. I'm home with them.
Right.
So there that is. Now, let's say it's something about the bills or let's say finances because he's the sole provider in our household. If he says, no, I'm not talking about it no more. We can't, you done bugged me about it. We can't do it right now. Ask me in a couple months. I said no. And guess what I do? Okay. Because guess what? He's the one that does the finances and is the provider. I'm the one that takes care of the home. So when I say I want the couch against the wall, damn it, put the couch against the wall. And when you say I can't buy a new mattress this month, I might have to wait for 2 more months to buy a new mattress because maybe money's a little tight. I got to be like, okay, because he's the one that controls the finances. And when I say control, I don't mean in the aspect of that I don't have access to the finances. Trust me, I'm like Judy Jetson. When I want to go shopping and you know how he tries to hand her the $20 bill and she just takes the whole wallet, that's
Right.
me. So it's not about control, but he knows the budget. He knows more on the finances and what he's bringing in and puts out. So sometimes he has to make a decision, says, babe, we can't do that right now. And I might want it right now, but I have to say, okay, no problem. But I trust that in a couple of months, he'll be like, hey, babe, remember you wanted that new carpet? We got the money for that now. Go ahead and make some calls. But a lot of times women like, but I want it now. It's my money and I want it now.
But the difference is you didn't disrespect him in the process. He didn't disrespect you in the process.
Right. You know, and like I said, even in the household, sometimes I'll be like, I said, this is what I said, and you might as well just go to bed because I'm not changing my mind. And you know that's how I talk. And he'd be like, okay. But he knows it because he knows I'm right about it. Like you said, we all have our different niche, what do you call it? Niches in a relationship.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know what? Okay, maybe I do need to step back because this isn't really this ain't my part here.
Right.
So maybe I don't know something that she knows. So I'm gonna step back.
And so yeah. So I really think that people really need to research, and I ain't talking about the dictionary. We know what the dictionary versions of submission is. Y'all need to do some spiritual searches about what that is. And again, the Bible speaks of submission in certain ways and stuff like that. And it says from both sides of it. Both.
It sure does.
Not one side, not both. So and like we both just said, we both submit to each other, but in different ways. People get stuck on semantics. People get stuck on words. Like you got to stop getting stuck on words and try to strive for comprehension and understanding, and stuff like that. And because they didn't put it in your words coming out of your mouth, like that doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just simply means that you might want to do a little bit more search, because there's a reason why that person has a perspective that way. And if that perspective is a healthy one, why don't you just think about what they're saying? Because you don't have an absolute answer to it. You don't. This is another perspective that you need to particularly pay attention to, and whatnot. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, actual men, they don't want to rule over their woman. They don't want that. They want what Jessica said. We want cooperation. We want peace. So if you're not adding to the peace we already got, why are you there? Why? Men are not coming in the house after a long day's freaking work to come into a gale force wind. That's the main reason why some men sit in their car before they come in the house. They know that there's gonna be hell in a half and chaos when they come in there in some way, shape, or form. So y'all have to understand, like, the mission works both ways, and it works in such a way that if you're doing the right thing, it comes without the word submission ever having to come up.
Right.
That's just a fact. Now, segueing on, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hold on, real quick. On that note, because I do want to address that part.
Yeah.
The one thing I learned is never nag when they come home. My children know when your daddy come home, you better not run out there asking him to do this and do that and do this. You want to go fishing, you want to go do this. No, you let that man change his clothes. You let him sit down and eat. You let him relax for a minute. Then you can bug the hell out of him. I don't care. But you give that man at least an hour or two before you go bugging the hell out of him. And I'm the same way. Like when he comes home, he's greeted with love. Hey, baby, how was your day? Dinner's ready. he goes and washes up or does whatever he does, checks on the kids. He's like, I'm hungry, sits down and eats, and then after that, he upstairs playing what do you call it? NBK, N2K, whatever they
Mhm.
be playing.
Mhm.
Madden, and Monica be playing with him. But imagine coming home to that every single day, just right off the bat. Like, damn, I can't even take my shoes off and y'all bugging the hell out.
Right.
You nagging me about something I didn't do or what I need to do. The kids want to do this. I just got home. I've been at work all day. And as somebody that used to work very long hours, like I would go to work at 6:30 in the morning and my shift did not end until 6:30 as a store manager. It was the same way. Don't ask me for nothing for at least the first hour. Can I pee? Can I change my clothes? Can I take a shower? Can I eat something? And that's the same kind of respect that we need to have for our men. Because if the
Mhm.
shoe's on the other foot, y'all would feel the same way. And I'm not lying.
That's a
Most
fact.
women will tell you that. Especially let your mama come. Grandma, mom. I know your grandmother raised you, but anybody else, let your mom come home after a long day of work and you start bugging her about some stuff. She going off on you, boy. If you don't leave me the hell alone, I just
Mhm.
walked in this damn house. Did you take the chicken out? You ain't take the chicken out. The hell, I told you to take the chicken out. Go take the chicken out so I can cook the
Mhm.
damn chicken.
Right.
So again, it's the same concept, but I guess for some reason men aren't as important when it comes to that than women are. I don't believe that, but
Mhm.
I just wanted to throw that because you brought that up.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. Um, so we're gonna segue into the second side of things, the second part of it. There is a video on TikTok where there was a woman who said that she was at a gym. She was on a treadmill, I think she said she was, and a she described him as a 300-pound white dude. I guess he was buff. Um, Walked up to her and said he wanted the equipment that she was on. She said no, and that he was on it. And she was like, no, because clearly I'm on it and I've been on it. You were nowhere around when I first got on this machine. So no, I'm not getting off. He says you need to get off. So basically he was trying to insist that she get off or whatever. She's like, yo, you're not gonna bully me off this machine. This is my machine for the time that I'm on it. And I'm not done with it yet. So I guess he went and talked to another white lady and then talked to her, and she came over and tried to get her off, or to convince her to get off the machine. She told her basically the same thing. I don't know what part of what I said no that you didn't understand, but I'm not getting off this machine. So, and you're not going to move me off this machine. It's just that simple. So her gripe is that not anytime during that exchange did a black man come and stand by the machine or say anything to this couple who was verbally assaulting her at the machine. And she said they was over there snickering. She said there was three of them because she said at that time when the initial encounter happened, it was just her. As far as her she was the only black woman in there. And then at some other given time during that time, there was approximately three black guys that was there, and none of them came over to say anything or stand by her or have her back or nothing. She says, "I really don't feel protected by our black men. I really don't feel protected, and I hate to say it, but I don't." She said because anything could have popped off, and they're over there laughing. They're over there snickering, thinking it's funny. But I didn't have them. I didn't have anybody to have my back like he had to have his back. She said I felt some kind of way about that and whatnot. So, ladies, get you a little pew pew. Be prepared to protect yourself because these black men are not here for you. They're not here for you. So that's my public service message. That's basically what the video said. Um, so what's your take on that situation? Because I know I responded to it, but what was your take on a situation like that?
Well, I didn't see the video. So I'm lacking a little context,
Mm-hmm.
but so yes, I do agree with make sure you arm yourself because in this day and age, people are not running to protect people for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But I do realize that sometimes, we've had so many incidents where somebody, a black man, we'll just go with that because that's the scenario that was painted,
Mm-hmm.
where a black man or black men don't come to the aid, but sometimes it's because of their behavior. Like they start things that they can't finish, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the best example I could put it in is like, let's say I'm out and somebody says something and I'm really just loud, obnoxious, um, just doing the most. I'll put it that way, doing the most. A lot of men have learned not to put themselves in a situation that can cause them harm from something that they may have started. Now, this is not me making excuses, but I've seen it. I've seen it with my own family members where somebody's gotten in trouble and they're cussing this man out and acting a fool, and then they call their brother or their uncles or whatever, and next thing you know, the brother's in jail for shooting the guy, or the guy done shot the brother because they came to their defense, and all the while she probably could have de-escalated the situation. um, Now this seems more like a racial issue if you're saying there wasn't very many black people in that gym,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they were trying to bully her because of her race. Like I said, that's why I said I didn't watch the video, so I don't have the context of it.
Right, right.
But now if she was acting a fool, like even I wouldn't go and I'd be like, yeah, okay, let me go work out somewhere over here because she got it coming because she acting a fool. I don't know. The temperature of the earth right now is so wishy-washy that I just know that when I go places to either go with my husband, um, or don't go. That's a tough one for me. I gotta see the video. I wish I would. I wish I would have seen the video.
Yeah, I was trying to find it and whatnot so I can send it to you, but and I'm going to check
But
my
you know what I
response.
mean? Because sometimes we put ourselves in situations,
Well, in this case,
and
she was just working out. She wasn't bothering nobody. She was just on the treadmill, and then that
okay,
guy approached her. From what she said,
okay,
yeah. But I do understand what you're saying.
yeah, and that's why I was like, yeah, I wish I would have saw the video because yes, if that's the case, then the couple was wrong for approaching her for like that. Absolutely. Um, but a lot of people aren't putting and not just men. When I mean, I remember a time when if I would see somebody on the side of the road that needed help, I would pull over and help them. I don't
Mm-hmm.
do that anymore
Mm-hmm.
because I don't trust people. I don't
Right.
know what they're capable of. I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, so sometimes it's not necessarily like a you getting what you deserve. It's kind of like I'm going home to my family. I don't know what that person got. We've kind of gotten away from the whole heroes and helping people because of the temperature of how people act and what they do. Just like Billy's even stated it before. He says the most I can do for you is call 911 from a distance because I'm going home to my family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And he said that's not on no punk stuff. He said it's literally because you don't know what people are capable of these days. You
Yeah.
really don't. So I have to use discernment. He said if it's not my wife, my mother, my sister, my children, I'll call the police for you. But other than that, I'm not getting in the middle of your situation because I could end up losing my life over that.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, that is true.
So when I responded, I said that if had I witnessed what was going on, I probably would have went over to stand by her. Now I wouldn't have jumped in the man's face unless he tried something,
Yeah.
but she would have known that she had support.
Yeah.
That's how I would have handled it. Because my thing is you don't get to assault my black women and think that it's okay. I'm not going to just sit there and stand by and let you do that.
Yeah.
However, it depends on the situation. Now, in this situation, it was in the gym. Yes, I would have come over and figured out, okay, what's the problem? Because I saw everything going on. She wasn't bothering nobody. She was on the treadmill, and you come over here trying to bully this woman. What's your problem? Hulk, what's your problem?
Well.
Now, the next part of it is, and I had to make sure I said this. I said, well, you have to also understand that men are tired of women's shenanigans all the time. Men are tired of being disrespected. We're tired of, oh, well, we don't need no man type of mentality, but yet you want somebody to come save you. Now, how does that man know which of those women that you are?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know that you are the woman who doesn't even feel that way. He doesn't know that you're the woman who really loves men, black men especially, and really adores them and respects them and really says a whole lot of positive things about black men, as much as she can say. However, he's looking at the fact that he's had to witness on social media, real life, where women are constantly talking about how much they don't need black men. Black women are the only race who does that.
Right.
They're the only race that does that, and they think it's a flex. It's not a freaking flex. It's disrespectful, is what it is. So other races are looking at us. Well, dang, if they ain't got no respect for them for each other, then ain't no point in us having respect for them, really. And then in this particular case, there's been situations where women will say to a man straight up to his face, "Well, you think I can handle this? I don't need you to save me. Do I look like I need saving?" Men have heard these things. So it's kind of hard to decipher which woman you are. And because we can't really look at you and be staring at you and stuff like that, because now you're gonna be like, well, he pervert. Why you staring at me? Well, first of all, you in a freaking gym half naked. First of all, you have a great body that you working on. So yes, we're gonna notice you. You're in a freaking gym.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are some guys who are perverts and they're just staring and all this other stuff. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about these situations where some women, they make more of a certain situation than it really is. And they misconstrue it, and they've convinced themselves, they've created a narrative in their minds that black men are this or black men are that. But you didn't get to know or even give that guy a chance. That guy ain't that way. That man don't even think that way. So why would you put all of that on that guy? And guys are tired of it. So if you sitting there saying that you independent one moment, then all of a sudden you need help the next moment, we don't know which is which.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna throw in our face how independent you are, how you don't need no man to do this, how you don't need no Captain Save-A-Ho. So,
But I think I've said this plenty of times on this show where I don't have those issues. If I'm out, let's say I'm out I'm just going to use stupid example. If I'm out by myself and I'm going shopping and I'm trying to lift a case of water, and let's say there's a young black man in the aisle with me, and let's say I'm struggling. Usually I ain't, but I done carry 3 toddlers around. The hell with that. But let's say they'll stop and offer, "Hey, do you need me to help you with that?" And I smile and I say, "Yes, well, thank you. I appreciate that." But I think a lot of times with women, we walk around with this resting bitch face, and I use the B word just for that, that phrase, where we're unapproachable.
Right.
So me, I don't know. When I'm out, I'm friendly. If I make eye contact with you, I speak. Even if it's a head, it could be just a head nod. Hey, what's up?
Right.
You know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a little smile.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think everybody's after me. So then, like I said, if they see me in the next aisle and I'm struggling to get a big ass case of water on into my cart, they be like, "Let me help you with that." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think a lot of times we bring it on ourselves, not just by what we say, but how we act and our demeanor, and how we are when we're amongst other people. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But that's just I cannot. I cannot tell you the last time that a man has seen me struggling with something and has not stopped to help me. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm trying to put something in, well, then I hold on. Let me be fair, because I've said this before, and a whole bunch of black women attacked me, and they said, "Well, it's because you're light skinned." Yeah, they did. It's because you're light skinned. I said, well, no, maybe it's because I was polite to them in the store. Maybe it's because I said hello. Maybe it's because
Mm-hmm.
I smiled. Maybe it's because I wasn't walking around with bitch face. And when he said hello, you just looked at him up and down like he was trying to get your booty cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't want your booty cakes. Maybe he's just being polite,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but, and so, because I'm the woman on the panel, I'm going to be fair. But we do have some men out there
Mm-hmm.
who will try to be over friendly because they want the booty cakes,
Yeah.
you know.
And
And we don't be having time for that. We like, no, if you're gonna help me with a case of water because you want the booty cakes, I'm good. I'll struggle. Just leave me alone.
mm-hmm. and 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 then that goes to not making assumptions before it's evident. Like you can't sit there and put every man in a freaking box and expect for a man to come to your rescue after you disrespected him. After I got a man. First of all, I ain't asked you nothing about no man. I'm trying to explain. I don't want to hear that. Okay, no problem. Now all of a sudden, money falling out her purse because she didn't listen to nothing I had to say. She automatically assumed I was trying to come get some.
But you know what's funny, Dedrick? So I'm 5'10".
Mm-hmm.
I'm tall for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I can be in the store and I can see usually a black woman. It's either a black woman or an old person that give me a problem. Because the old people I always approach very cautiously because some old folks don't want you to help them. Because I got this. And the old folks is how they are.
Yeah.
And I'll see let's say a shorter woman. And I'll say, hey, and she'll be on her, she'll be trying to climb up the damn gondola, trying to get the damn lemon juice from the top shelf all the way in the back. And I'm like, can I help you with that? I'm right here. I don't need your, oh shit, okay. My bad. I damn sure don't want your booty cakes. I was just trying to get you the lemon juice, but now fuck you too. Like I only say that to say, man, y'all ain't the only ones. We get it too sometimes.
Yeah. But that's all I'm trying to say. Like Jessica was alluding to, like some of y'all are so unapproachable, it's not even funny. But then you find yourself in a situation like that and you expect us to come running. First of all, I don't owe you that, number one. Number two, you've done nothing but been rude to that man. And then now you expect him to come to your rescue or at least support you in whatever that situation was. First of all, men aren't blind, and we're definitely not freaking deaf. We hear what you say about us. So now, how are those men to decipher whether or not you're that chick or not that chick? Now, some of you will argue, well, it shouldn't matter. We're a black woman. You're supposed to be there for us. Okay, well, you might want to try to practice what you preach. Because a lot of the times when you are rude and you're presumptuous and you're thinking that we're thinking something that we're totally not thinking, do you even apologize? Do you even acknowledge that you got it wrong? Are you even accountable? Because accountability is almost like kryptonite to your Supergirl. Yeah, it's painful for some reason, and I'm not understanding. You have to acknowledge some of the things that you're doing. I understood what she was saying, and I literally apologized. In my very first sentence I wrote on the post, I apologize. I said, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I'm really sorry that you went through that and that you feel that way. I understand on one hand that you feel that way and why you would feel that way in a situation such as that. But you also have to understand the other side of it. Because a lot of the times when men come to your rescue, now he gets almost slapped because you telling him, well, I don't need you to save me. Do I look handicapped? Do I look like I can't handle myself? Okay. So a lot of men are freaking weary of trying to help you. And you can't really blame them because you created it.
And like I said, I'm a whole woman, and there's been times that I've offered to help a woman. And like I said, I use a vague example, but it's still the same. I've even held the door open for women. I don't need you to hold the door. Damn, okay, I'm sorry. Let me close. I close it too. I do. I slam that shit shut. Here you go, then. Open it your damn self then. And I'm like, damn, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the temperature. And that's why I keep saying the temperature of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not always just necessarily men. I can understand it because, like I said, I've had a few things where I'm like, I'm just trying to help you. Damn, like I'm not after your booty cakes. I don't want your phone number. I don't want to hang out. I just want to get you your damn lemon juice that you can't reach before you climb up the gondola and fall and bust your head open. I'm clearly a whole foot taller than you.
And it's about your energy. That's why people didn't care to help. They didn't mind helping because it was about your energy that you gave off. Mm-hmm. People don't understand the energy that you carry. Your face will show it. Your face will show it. And sometimes people look at people and look hard. They just look hard. Now, my go-to, and everybody isn't like this because I'm an outgoing person. I'm an extrovert. Sometimes I'm an introvert, but most of the time I'm an extrovert. I speak to almost anybody. And when people are looking rough and disgruntled, that's the very first person I'm talking to. Hey, what's going on? How you doing, man? How's everything going? And they'll speak and their whole demeanor change a little bit because you spoke and you smiled. You don't understand sometimes the power of a simple smile or a hello or a compliment. You don't understand the power of that. You don't. And sometimes you can tell when people are not being seen. Mm-hmm. In my management experience, you can tell when they're not being appreciated because they don't expect nothing from you. They're just going to go about their little job and do just enough not to get fired and go home. Right. But wait, what happens when
I call it the Eeyore syndrome.
You know, exactly. So what I do, and I made a point to do, is I acknowledge them. And after a while, every time they see me, they light up because they know they're being seen. They know that their work is being appreciated. And I tell them that. I tell them that the nurses are talking about you, that you're doing a great job. I mean, keep going doing what you're doing. And they like that. So the very next time they see me, why? They might not even speak the same language as me, but they change. And my thing is that changes the complexion of their day because at least that day they got a compliment. At least that day the manager saw me. Like he literally seen me. Not just that you're at work. No, he literally seen me for the work that I'm doing. He literally seen me for, how hard I've been working. He's acknowledging it. You see what I'm saying?
Or just as a person. Mm-hmm. Just I exist.
Yes.
I'm here. I exist.
Yes.
Because you have some managers, they could walk past their employees 25 times and wouldn't say a word to them.
Yep. And so
they don't even know if they manager married, got kids, got a dog, nothing. Mm-hmm. But when you take that little bit of time and just have a 5-minute conversation, it can make all the difference.
And in the context of what we were talking about just now, you have to understand what we black men, have seen the worst side of Black women, and it's baffling and it's confusing to think that you think that automatically it's like the old days where we gonna come to the rescue of our Black women. Dun, 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 dun. But you've been rude to us. You've been talking about how much you don't need us. You cuss us out. You every negative thing that you can find to say about us, that's what you find. As if there's not the opposite side. Why not talk about the opposite side of things? Why not do that?
Mhm.
You always say, well, no, these Black men don't take care of their kids. First of all, I'm a Black man and know several Black men in several different circles who take pride in taking care of their kids. They love their kids to their heart. They'll sacrifice everything so that their kids have everything. Why don't you talk about those men? But yet you will target a group of men who are the opposite of that, and talk about it as if that's
All of it.
that's all of us. That's the rest. That's all the Black men. Black men don't take care of their kids. That's bull crap. That's bull. Black
Mhm.
men are among some of the most consistent men, fathers on the planet.
And I
So,
will add, if the Black man that you procreated with is not one of them, then you chose the wrong Black man to procreate with.
mm,
Sorry.
and
Yep, I
that came
said it.
and that came from a woman.
I said it.
She said it, and I stand behind her 10 toes down.
You picked him. You knew exactly what he was. Now, maybe 2% of guys can fool you, but the 98% of the ones that ain't taking care of them kids that you procreated with, you knew exactly who he was. I'll give you 2% of men that might have pulled the wolves over the women's eye and made them think that they was gonna be this great father. But the 98% that y'all call deadbeats, you knew his ass was a deadbeat, and you still opened your legs. You still got pregnant. You still had the baby. So guess what? Boo hoo, cry me a river. Don't want to hear it.
Mhm. And that's the long or the short of it. And a lot of you hate on Kevin Samuel. He is not my savior. Let me make sure I put that out there first. He's not somebody I worship, but a lot of you are upset because he gave it to women and men
Raw.
rough and raw.
Mhm.
And he didn't mince words. He said what he said. And y'all getting y'all feelings because of how he said it.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Is the message still true? Is what he's saying still true? I don't give a crap about somebody's tone if they telling me the truth. But I was raised by a rough grandma. You understand? Sometimes her tone was straight up firm and tough and stern. You
Look,
thought
I
I was
was
gonna,
raised by my daddy.
man. So you think I'm gonna crawl up in fetal position, rocking? My grandma would have yanked me off that floor. Get your butt up and cut some wood.
I was raised by my daddy.
So my
Yeah.
thing is everything. All messages are not gonna come to you on a bed of clouds and rainbows. That's not how that's gonna work. It's not gonna rain down glitter just for you and your little sensitive behind feeling. That's not how that works. Sometimes you need to hear the truth as raw as it's supposed to be given because you ain't listening to nothing else and nobody else when they try
I
to
say
tell you nicely.
I tell you this, one thing, well, one of the things, because my father dropped many gems, but pursuant to the topic of conversation, my father taught me, and he was a single father. Let me throw that out there. He was a single
Mhm.
father who raised me. He said, never be so never be so dependent that you cannot stand on your own, but never be so independent that you stand alone. And
Mhm.
I've lived those words ever since because it makes sense. I could change my own oil. I could change the starter, alternator, cut my grass, move the furniture. I could do all that if I want to, but I don't have to because I have a husband. He's going to do that because I need him. And I think I've used this reference before as well. I could be in the kitchen trying to open the pickle jar. Now, if he's not home, I know I can bang on the sides, or I can run it under some hot water. I'm gonna get my pickle one way or the other, right? But if
Mhm.
my husband is standing next to me, I'm gonna hand him the pickle jar. Baby, can you open this? That goes back to that thing of needing. And people call me crazy when I say this. Well, I think delusional people call me crazy when I say this. Men have an innate need to feel needed. They don't want to just be wanted. They want to feel needed as well. It's no different as a woman. Women want to feel needed. I think that's a human thing. We want to be needed in some form or fashion. If you go to a job every day and your boss comes to you and says, you know what? I'm so glad that you're on our team. We really need you. You're a great asset to this company. That makes you feel great, right? That makes you want to work harder and do things, better within the company. But if your boss comes to you and says, we kind of just wanted you here because we needed somebody to fill this slot. What? You don't feel, there's no gratitude, there's no energy now. You zapped all that out. I'm ready to go find a new job. Because you just told me you don't need me. You just want me. I think there's a difference. I want you to need me. No different than if every day I cook and my husband comes home and says, well, I didn't need you to cook. What's going to happen after a while?
You gonna
I ain't
probably
going to
not cook.
cook.
Right. You gonna be what to cook.
I ain't need you to cook. I could have cooked myself. All right, well, go ahead and do your thing, bro.
Right. Right.
No different than, like you said, on the other hand, with a woman. Well, I didn't need you to do that. After a while, the brother's gonna be like, "Oh, well, you said you didn't need me to do it, so I stopped doing it." Excuse me, I'm sorry.
And folks, please do not target the word need as if you can't function as an adult by yourself. Some of y'all are so fickle minded, y'all will nitpick the smallest things. That is not what she's talking about. She's not talking about you so needy and dependent on. That's not what she's talking about. Please don't take it that way. Because some of y'all get triggered by the littlest things. And that word need is a problem for some of y'all. Because y'all think we're saying that you need to be dependent upon somebody, or a woman need to be dependent, so dependent that she can't do nothing. That's not what we're saying. That's not what she's saying. Okay. She said exactly what she meant to say, and it was very clear about what she said and why she said it that way. You understand? So when we wrestle with semantics and I don't need that. We know you don't need anybody to freaking adult and do what adults do. You're an adult. You made it this far without needing somebody, particularly to do those things. Why? Because you got it done on your own. That's what adults do. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about people needing people like that. We want to know that if you're going to be in a relationship, there's space for you to be in a relationship. You understand? If you're going to be in a relationship and we're going to build something, I need to have space in your life for that. Period. I need to know that you want me in that space. I want to feel like, if I wasn't here, you miss me a little bit. Like what? You know what I'm saying? Like I like to feel like I'm wanted. And when it comes to being needed, it's one of those fine lines between want and need. It's like one of those things to where I know that Rhonda doesn't need me to live, because if something happened and I'm gone, guess what? She's still gonna live the next day. She's still gonna function the next day. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what it is that you add, what kind of value you add to another person's life to where they can't see their lives being without you. We're not talking about you can't function without a person. We're talking about an innate need to be there. Like we want you there. We want you to be there and stuff like that. So I don't know if I was clear about what I said, but it's just a difference, guys. It's not a functionality need. It's about the need for the companionship, the need for the trust, the need for the love that you give, especially if you're being loved correctly. That's something we need. That ain't a want.
And I mean, but we can also say certain things. Well, let me be clear. I'm speaking for my marriage only. I can't speak for anybody else's.
Mhm.
So let's say I want to go and get something out of the attic, right?
Uh-huh.
If I go and get it out of the attic, Billy's mad at me. He's like, why didn't you just wait for me? I would have got it for you, babe. That's what I'm here for. I got you. So, and I had to, because I was single for a very long time prior to me. I was dating, but then I was taking care of my mom, blah, blah, blah. But I was so used to doing things on my own that I would just do them.
Yeah.
So then, like, once I got with Billy, like, he can come home and the bedroom would be downstairs and the living room would be upstairs. I'm being a little exaggerated, but in other words, I move furniture. And he's like, why didn't you just wait for me to come home? I could have helped you with that. Again, so sometimes those are little things that men actually want to help you with sometimes. Instead of saying, oh, I could do it myself. You know. So it's not just those things. And speaking as a wife, I know my husband can cook, but I don't expect him to cook. Kind of the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now if he's off on the weekends, he loves to cook breakfast. That's his little thing. He loves cooking breakfast. So, hey, I know he's going to do that anyways. I appreciate it. But it's not something that he has to do. I can do it. But he likes to do it. So, okay, whatever. But there are just certain things, you know, like I said, I don't know if that makes sense to other people. But, like, I literally get fussed at if I do something, like I can move the refrigerator and clean behind the refrigerator. What you do today? I moved the refrigerator and cleaned it. I could have did that, babe. You ain't need to do that. You do enough. And that was probably heavy. So you have men out here who want to do things for you that it doesn't mean that he thinks that you can't do it. He just doesn't want you to do those types of things because he wants to at least help you do those things, especially if it's heavy lifting or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things to keep in mind too.
Yeah.
Again, I'm speaking on my marriage.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. But so I mean, I guess when it comes into the context of those type of things, because I've been watching a lot of
spider. I'll be right back.
All right. But in the context of those things,
it's huge. I need my husband. It's huge.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
You got to go. Shit.
Well, I guess you told it. But my thing is like whenever we're talking about these type of things, for some reason there is a faction of women who think it's a competition. When a man is trying to be the man in your life, allow him to be the man in his life in your life, because a lot of you are not used to being loved properly, and it's confusing to you. It's something that you may not recognize. But when a man is genuine to you and has been consistent in your life, allow him to do what he needs to do. It's not about control. It's about care. That's when you care for another person. So when you care for another person, there's a lot of things you want to take off their plate. And again, like I was telling you, it's not about the fact that, say, Jessica couldn't do it. Of course you can do it. But it's a faction of, hey, I'm here. You no longer have to do all of that stuff. Because I had to do the same thing at the beginning of my relationship. Because there were certain things she was used to doing because she had been doing it for herself all that time. But when you have someone who knows how to treat a woman, you let him treat you the way you need to be treated. And enjoy it. A lot of the times you sitting there, well, I'm just so used to, okay, well, now you can get used to your man coming in here giving you coffee every morning. Now you can get used to your trash getting taken out because you're too busy to take it out and it's full when I come over. So now you don't have to worry about that. When if I see that it's full or something, like it's gonna get taken out of. You don't got to ask me to do it. It's gonna get done. Period. Just show me where the bags are. You know what I'm saying? Or if you know that something has to be done around the house, you just do it. You don't wait for the woman to do it. And a lot of women are not used to that. They're used to men just being trifling. They're on the video game or they this, they that, or whatever the case is. They're not used to a man doing what he's supposed to do in the capacity of taking the weight off of a woman's shoulder. So a lot of people are not used to, a lot of women are not used to that kind of behavior. But I say it's time that you get used to it. It's time. You deserve that, don't you think? Just saying. You know. So
Definitely.
so my thing is allow when a man has been raised right, and like Jessica alluded to before, sometimes that what Billy would do, because I do the same thing. They're so y'all. Some women are so used to being on their own, they'll walk on the side of the street side. I've had to systematically move her over and walk on that side. Move her over. Well, and sometimes she'll go right on back over there. Move her over. You don't belong over there. I belong over there.
Hmm.
Just like facing the door to see, make sure if anything pops off, I can be the first to see it so I can protect you. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? My thing is, there's small things. And it's usually the little things that means the most. It ain't no big old grandiose things or whatever. Because Jessica will tell you straight up, I don't need all that. I just need this or that. He'll tell you that in a minute. And it's not that she don't appreciate it. It's that she doesn't require that because the love that's been shown prior to that is enough. And she might tell you, "Hey, I just want this candle right here." Like she'll tell you that her needs may not be the same thing as some other women's needs. And some of these women are so superficial, they just go way above what's necessary, and men see it. You don't have to be doing all that. At the end of the day, it seems like now it's everything is so transactional.
Hmm.
And we living in a world where women think it's a flex to have a prostitute mentality. It's not a flex. It's really not, because what it's going to do is going to have you winding up with a cat, or a little toy poodle or Shih Tzu or something, and whatnot. That's what it's going to do. You're gonna die alone because of all of your shenanigans at the beginning when you was young and vibrant and all this other stuff. Yeah, you did a lot of questionable things, and now it's following you. It's not going away because it's all on the internet. Like a lot of y'all not paying attention to that stuff. Guys, same thing. You out here spreading your seed, and now you don't have a control over anything. These kids are everywhere. You can't do your duties as a man because you're doing too much.
Hmm.
You're doing too much.
And,
You can't be everywhere at one time.
and no real good woman is gonna take you seriously. So you're
Nope.
gonna keep getting the same ratchet chick after ratchet chick after ratchet chick. Because I tell you what, I did not date men with children. I made an exception once, but I didn't have children. I didn't have children. I wanted my own family, but this one guy, I did really like him. He was cool, whatever. Wasn't a big deal. The baby mom won't no problem. But that was like a huge rule of mine. So if
Mm,
you got 3, 4, 5 baby mamas, you gonna get another baby mama that got 3, 4, 5 baby daddies. And the cycle continues. You're not gonna find a good woman if you guys are out there doing the same thing. So look, we hold both sides accountable here.
absolutely.
We don't just talk about the women; we talk about the men too.
Absolutely.
And having said that, just on that note, and some of y'all ladies, when y'all run into this guy that got 3, 4, and 5 baby mamas, please do not be victim number 6. Talking about he different, he like me, he love me. No, he gonna do the same thing to you that he did to the other 3 or 4 or 5. Stop. Stop. No. Cause that was my biggest thing. You're not about to make me a victim if you can't take care of it. If you ain't taking care of your 3, 4, 5 kids, you think you about to make me the 6th victim? Shit, not happening. Not on Jessica Watch. And y'all need to open your eyes to that shit. Because them men that's doing that, they don't give a damn about themselves. They don't give, well, no, they care about themselves. That's about all they care about. They don't care about you. They don't care about your children. You're going to be out here living a single mother life.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be crying, talking about he a deadbeat. But he was a deadbeat with number 1, 2, 3, and 4 and made you number 5. You just was the clown that thought you was going to change him. Nah, boo. Stop doing that.
Yeah,
So I had to add that to
it. So with all that being said, we really just want y'all to be conscious of what triggers y'all. And then you gotta get to the root of why it triggers you. And stuff like that. Yeah, we gotta start being more realistic. Seriously. None of us are perfect at all. You know what I'm saying? But having said that, you can have a perfect plan for yourself by heightening your discernment. You know what I'm saying? Ask the right question. You know what I'm saying? Slow down some. You know what I'm saying? And most of all, don't be twerking in the middle of every place. Stop it. I'm sorry, that was just there on my heart to say.
it.
I would tell you, I saw a video, grown woman. She in some place, and I'm looking at the environment, and the environment was a beautiful environment. The environment was just like beautiful, elegant, upscale. She gets on the ground, starts twerking. I'm like,
Oh.
I'm so burnt out on this twerking mess, man. Stop doing it. Like, what are y'all doing? Stop. Oh,
Like I always say, there's a time and there's a place.
man.
Read the room or the area. And if it don't look like that's what you're supposed to be doing, don't do it. I mean, I don't twerk at all. But the way my knees and my back set up, I couldn't twerk if I tried. Granted, I've never been that type of dancer. I've been the 1-2 step type of dancer. I think the most freaky I got was the butterfly. And that was what, 30 years ago.
Lord have mercy.
I don't do all that. But let's say I did. There's always still a time and a place. And there are certain places that you don't bring that to,
I agree.
Stop doing it like that one where she at the restaurant jumped on the table doing it. Like, come on, y'all. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. There's this speaking on that, there's this hashtag going around now, and a phrase is called Black fatigue.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like Black fatigue. I'm not going to use that one because
Okay.
all Black folks ain't like that.
No.
I call it ratchet fatigue.
Well, the reason why they call it Black fatigue is because we the only ones that be doing that stuff.
I understand, but I'm still going to try to discern my good brothers and sisters from the ratchets. So, I be correcting them too. I be like, no, it's not Black fatigue because guess what? All Black people aren't like that. Let's call it ratchet fatigue.
Okay, yeah, I can get with that.
I can get with that because I'm not gonna down my whole lineage because of a minority of people that's acting a damn fool. I'm not gonna allow them to do it either. White, Black, Hispanic, I don't care. No, we're not doing that. We're not gonna call it Black fatigue. We can call it ratchet fatigue, and then I'm down with it. Because guess what? We tired of ratchet too. Us Black folks with sense, we tired of ratchet too. But it's got to stop somewhere, but it's not. They getting worse and worse.
I just don't. I'll never get it. I'll never get it because it's like we grab on and we hold on to the most self-deprecating crap, and it's like, okay, this doesn't move the needle in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So, but at this time, we're gonna do a nice pause for station identification of
Oh,
our
good. I gotta go to
sponsors.
the bathroom.
For our sponsors, Meet the World Image Solutions. Get your literary needs met, where Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson is the founder of Meet the World Image Solutions, and she can get you right. All right. She'll get you right. All right. As a matter of fact, we're going to be in Philadelphia this weekend, on Saturday, for the national, excuse me, the Literacy Nation Indie Author Book Fair is going on in Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Convention Center, August 9th between 10 and 3 p.m., y'all. So if y'all are in the area, come by and check us out. And yeah, Mr. Crave's cookies are going to be there. I will have some cookies on deck. So yeah, and whatnot. So cookies will be in Philly. All right. So guys, go to www.mtwimagesolutions.com. That's MTW for Meet the World. So that's mtwimagesolutions.com. All right. And check out her merch, check out all of that good stuff, and get a consultation if you got a book in you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to know how to write your book better or get your book out there, what you need to do, whatever the case is, she can assist you with that. Also, lastly, my baby, Mr. Crave's Cookies. I have over 54 plus different kinds of cookies and bars. And also, I'm in 29 states. Will your state be the next? So, guys, go to Instagram and check me out at Mr. Crave's Cookies and follow me, and I'll send you a full menu of all the goodies, all the goodies. Stop what you're doing and go over to Instagram. All right, that's what you need to do. Go over there and check us out, and whatnot. And I'm also doing my platter promotion until the end of the year. I decided my basic platter. I have 3 different tiers of platters. The only one I'm gonna talk about tonight is my basic platter, which has 3 dozen cookies in it and 3 different flavors. And those cookies are large. They're not my minis. They're large. So if you want that platter, it'll be $75, guys. $75 instead of $90. It'll be $75. So you might want to take advantage of this deal, okay? So anyway, with that being said, I just want to go ahead and close out in relation to the topics that we were just talking about. In summary, I want to make sure people understand that we're not trying to come down on women or come down on men. We both have to get it together. We both have to have comprehension before we open our mouths. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's almost like when you look at some of these lives and you listening to what's being said, like I did the other night, it's like their brains are detached from their mouths. It's like their mouths go on autopilot, and they're just there to respond. If you're the type of person who is just there to respond, then I think you might want to sit down somewhere in the shade and drink some Coca-Cola or something. Like you need to just chill out, because you're gonna make a fool of yourself. And being loud doesn't mean you're right. It just means you're loud. And like seriously, do your due diligence when it comes to things. Like sometimes if you paid attention to any of our shows, me and Jessica go down a rabbit hole a lot. And my thing is for me, I like to see the truth beyond what is being sold to me. And a lot of the times, a lot is being sold to us, and we're being made to believe things to be true that's really not true historically. And now the truths are coming out. Now video footage is coming out. And a lot of times we're in a CGI age to where everybody think everything is AI. Well, everything ain't AI. And that's the disadvantage of all of this technology, is because now people are not believing real footage. Now people are not believing real information. Oh, that can't be real. Giants ain't that. There ain't no giants like that. Well, there's a story of David and Goliath. Goliath was from a particular tribe of giant. So let's not sit there and act as if sometimes things aren't written right in front of you. It sometimes it's written right in front of you. You can go to certain pages and Matter of fact, let's not even get complicated. You can go to Egyptian hieroglyphics and look at the paintings on the walls. Why were those people big? Why were these like Gilgamesh? Gilgamesh literally carried a lion in his arms. Y'all know how big a lion is? And how I know that wasn't a cub? It had a full mane. And Gilgamesh made that thing look like it was a cat. That's how large Gilgamesh was. So guys, don't take my word for none of that. Just go do your due diligence. There's a lot that's out there. That's why we like to talk about a lot of different things. But what we won't do is we won't coddle men, or we won't coddle women. When you come here, you're going to get the straight truth. Now, if we're wrong about something and it's pointed out and proven that it's wrong, we'll yield and be like, listen, okay, you're right, I was wrong. Because we're not over being accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of you are. You guys got to be more accountable. I don't care if you don't like for people to look at you like you're wrong, or you what your opinion was crazy or whatever. Listen, if you're wrong, you're just wrong. And it's okay to admit that. That means that you're actually growing up. Who would have thunk it? So that's basically what I'm saying. Guys, when you're trying to relate and understand women, if you're trying to relate and understand men, if you're trying to do that, because some of you aren't trying to understand nothing. Y'all just want to talk. But if you're trying to understand men, you do well to listen to men. Talk about men. But when you try to override that and say, well, no, that's not how men are. Well, ma'am, unless you've been a man and there's something you want to tell us, you might want to listen to what actual men are telling you about men. Not your feeling, like the real truth. And that's where I'm gonna stop or whatnot, and I'll allow Phenomenal here to speak to in summary.
So my summary would, going off of what you just said, accountability, self-reflection is a big must in our lives. And it would do us due diligence to do so. We're at an age and time, and like he said, we go down rabbit holes, he and I, and even on the show, and even in private, behind the scenes. And there's a lot of things that we don't know, and you have all this social media, the narratives, the people that's telling you this and that, and we have to start thinking for ourselves and saying this is right and this is wrong. And more importantly, like I had to tell somebody earlier, it was a guy too. I hate arguing with men. I really do. Because I think I'm going to say it, I think it's the most sassy behavior. I even told the man, I said, your slip is showing because you're really reacting very emotionally right now, and you're not thinking logically. And I'm trying to have a logical conversation with you as a woman, and you as a man are having an emotional conversation with me. And this was a black man. It was an older man, matter of fact. And we have to stop reacting emotionally to everything and start looking at the logic of things. And I think that once we start doing that more often, things will pan out better for us. Um, as far as the topics today, they were great topics. Submission is cooperation, it's peace. It's not, oh my God, he owns you and you have to sit in the corner with your apron on and wait for him to bark commands at you to come and clip his toenails and iron his drawers. That's not what submission is. And matter of fact, most women who live a more subservient life to their husbands, believe it or not, they probably run their household. I'm just putting that out there. We run it. Because the husband don't want to hear shit. They're just like, yes, babe, okay, love you. But again, we all have our roles, and obviously, if your husband or your partner, because I know some people don't believe in marriage anymore, so I won't use the term husband in concrete. but your long-term, relationship partner, if that person is worthy and trustworthy, just let that man lead. And every once in a while, you're gonna have a "I told you so" moment. I've done it, and he's done it to me too, where he'd be like, "All right, you want to do it your way? No problem." And then when it don't work, he'd be like, "That's why I told you no." Okay, now can we do it my way? And I'm like,
Right.
"Yeah, you right," and vice versa. So it's a learning curve too. But I've been with my husband for 16 years, as Dedrick said. So we already done figured all this out. The second one was what the chick at the gym. Women, protect yourselves, but try not to put yourselves in a situation where you need protection. If that was in fact the case, because I know sometimes we do run our mouths and then we need protection, and then the men that you, like Dedrick so eloquently pointed out, the men that you've been screaming that you don't need them, they sit on the sidelines and they don't help you. Well, there's a reason why they don't, because y'all are screaming from the mountaintops that y'all don't need them. I'm different. I need the men in my circle. I need my husband. I need my father. I need my father-in-law. I need my uncles. I need them in my lives. I need my male friends. When I need advice about something that I know I can't go to a woman about, I'll call Dedrick. Dedrick can tell you that. I've called him on quite a few occasions. I've called other people. Hey, Dedrick, I need your advice on something. It's okay. But when you keep saying that you don't need men, that's going to be your result. And stop walking around with that damn resting bitch face. And I'll end on this. I remember there was one girl, Dedrick, she was absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God, this young woman was so gorgeous. And I wanted to tell her, I wanted to compliment her. Like, I was walking past her. I had my little cart. It was Walmart. I had my cart, and I looked at her and said, "Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful." And I wanted to tell her that she was beautiful, but her face screamed, "Don't talk to me." And guess what? I didn't compliment her because I almost felt like if I complimented her, I might have got cussed out. Not everybody's after your booty cheeks. Sometimes somebody just wants to give you a compliment. Smile. Life isn't that bad. You're living. You're breathing. You're at the grocery store. You're shopping. So you got some money to spend. Everything's not that bad. Smile. Be kind to people. And that kindness will return. And to end it out, what we always say, what you give to the universe is what you give back. What you get back. So if you're constantly walking around with your resting bitch face and nasty attitude, and you don't need this and this and that, guess what you're going to get back? That's exactly what you're going to get. If you walk around in a positive light and acknowledge that life is okay, it don't got to be perfect. Life is okay. You're going to get that back. So that's my ending on that one.
All right, you heard it here first, folks, guys. I don't think she stuttered that one time. So she meant what she said. So so I want you guys to join us next week, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, Thursday night. And whatnot. We're gonna have another thought-provoking topic for you. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to come check us out and whatnot. I am your host, Dedrick the Cookie Man. That's my co-host, the phenomenal Mrs. Fields. And until